How you doing? Duff here. I'm doing my official video review of the Shamrock Triple Gym. This just arrived today. This is what the box looks like. Obviously some assembly is going to be required. Unfortunately it's made in China. It's kind of hard to avoid nowadays. It'd be nice if it wasn't, but it is made in China. So I'm going to open the box up and get the parts out and walk you through the assembly process. Okay, I have everything unboxed and I took the wrapping off. Components feel sturdy. Everything's supposed to be made out of steel. I would say it feels kind of similar to the Iron Gym. It actually feels like it might be slightly heavier gauge steel, which I guess is a good thing. The instructions that come with it are pretty simple, as most made in China things are. Just some pictures and basic diagrams. Pretty confident I can figure it out. Part listing. Funniest thing I thought that they included is this very simple tool to attach the bolts and the screws and that kind of stuff. I'll probably stick to good old-fashioned adjustable wrenches because that'll allow me to get more torque on it. So I'm going to start the assembly process, and I'll film strategic spots along the way. I love Chinese instructions. It simply says that you attach this cross piece here with the two smaller bolts. There's no sizes indicated anywhere in the instructions, but there are only two bolts that are smaller than the rest, so it was easy enough to figure out. Put the two nuts on there, tighten them up, and you have this part ready to go. This cross piece, this is what rests on the drywall that's usually above the doorway. Just from past experience, I know I had issues with on the Iron Gym. Even though it's supposed to not leave a mark, it actually did. I wound up putting like painter's tape over this section so it doesn't leave marks on the wall. So just a little FYI. Also, it's hard to tell how tight you want to make these, because you can tighten them as much as you want, and what will happen is the plastic will start to bend. As you can see here, I'm going to actually back that out a little bit. So you don't want to keep tightening and tightening and tightening, because you will just start deforming the plastic if you crank it too tight. So just word to the wise. Okay, another gotcha. When you look at this illustration, all you basically see are bolts going through and nothing else. Same thing here, just some bolts. But when you look at the hardware, you're given these curved washers that are supposed to be utilized, which isn't illustrated, and of course you need the nuts to tighten it. So even though it doesn't show it on the instructions, be sure to use your curved washers. They should go, I'm going to have to take this apart, they should go underneath the nut, and I assume that's to better distribute the force, so you're not crushing the metal. I was being lazy and didn't feel like going out and getting my socket set, but it's going to make the process go better and also allow me to tighten this better. So the smaller nut is a 10mm nut, and the larger one is a 14mm nut, just for your reference if you decide to do the same thing. Now you can see what that should look like when it's properly attached. I recommend a socket. You'll get a nice tight fit and save some time. Okay, first crossbar section is attached. That's held on with two more bolts. Another annoying thing. Hear this? There's a little metal piece from, I guess, when they cut these holes out that's floating around in there. I got one out of another section already, so I'm going to try to fish the piece out of this one because it's going to annoy me. So here we go. That's what was rattling around. One of the things I liked about the Triple Gym was the pull-up extension actually is higher than what you would get in an Iron Gym, so that your knees, especially with a tall guy like me, your knees are not dragging on the floor, which is kind of nice. So I just attached that crossbar. Next up is the dip bar attachment. Nice thing with the dip bar attachment is there's actually 3 sets of holes you can use on either side that allows you to change the width of the dip bars to suit your particular taste, your body type. I know at the gym my dip bars that I'm comfortable on are like 23 inches apart, so I'm going to find the hole setting that's closest to that and use it. Okay, if you would use the outer set of holes, it's 25 inches. If you use the middle set, it's 23 inches. That's probably what I'm going to use. And if you use the oops, I'm sorry, that's wrong. If you use the middle holes, it's 21 inches apart. And if you would use the inner holes, it's only 16 inches apart. So actually, I'm going to probably wind up using the outer set of holes at 25 inches. Okay, both the pull-up bar and the dip bar sections are assembled. Those bars are looking mighty wide to me. Now that I have it together, I might wind up moving it to the middle set of holes, but I'll try it on the outer holes first to see how it feels. Okay, you can immediately see the difference in bar position with the triple jim versus an iron jim. With an iron jim, your pull-up grip is going to be right here, and you could actually use the same grip for the triple jim if you wanted to, if you like that height for some reason. But for someone taller like me, you get probably an extra, oh, I don't know, that might be an extra almost a foot, 10 to 12 inches possibly, by using the upper bar. So that's kind of cool. But the real test is how it feels when I'm hanging on it, so let's do that next. Okay, that felt fine. If you have kind of a soft wood that is your frame, like I think the frame on my doors, it might be pine or something like that, it's going to leave indentations on the frame. Like I have indentations there already from the iron jim, so it's going to be the same old deal with this. But as far as pulling on it, doesn't feel bad. Variety of grips. You can go close, you can go narrow. The farthest grip is a little bit angled like what you would see at the gym, so there's a lot of variety you could do in that, and that's kind of cool. Alright, let's try the dip bars. Okay, you can see how those just kind of get cradled on the top there. Let me try a couple different variations. It actually doesn't feel bad at all, really. You saw when I was facing the triple jim, I bonked my head. If you're going to face that direction and you have a long neck like me, long arms, you're going to probably want to keep your head down. Or you can just face the other direction, and that felt pretty good as well. With the way that the support for the dip bars attach, it actually makes the bars even wider, because the bottom flares out. They're like 28 inches wide right now, so I'm going to move them to the center hole. Okay, moving to the center set of holes, with it mounted, that moved the bars all the way into like 22 inches on center, so it was like a 6-inch difference. So that feels better to me than the real wide grip, so that's what I'm going to probably use. If you go into the next set of holes, you can make it even more narrow. Probably something more along the lines of the parallel bars at Tompkins Square Park. Those are super narrow, so if you want to try to be more like TSP, move them all the way in. It's cool though that it's easily adjustable, so you can vary your widths to work your tries a little bit differently. Seems pretty good. As a throw-in with the Triple Jim, they also include these admittedly very cheap straps with handles. With the theory being you can put them here. Hang them down there, and with the way this door is situated, I really can't do them here, but you can do hanging push-ups this way. Actually, it doesn't feel too bad. And you could use, if you had your own set of rings, higher quality rings, you could easily hang them on here. You can also hang these higher. You could hang them up here. If you're a woman and you wanted to do Australian push-ups, you do this kind of deal. Or if you're a guy, So that's not a bad little throw-in. And like I said, if you use your own decent rings, it would be even better. So there you go. That's the first official Triple Jim video review on YouTube that I'm aware of, unless someone beat me to it. Overall, my impressions are good. It feels solid. That was my biggest concern, that it would feel flimsy. There's nothing worse than trying to do dips or pulls on something that feels like it's not solid. It affects your reps and can actually cause injury. So it actually feels quite good. The assembly was not hard, although the instructions are not good, but it's simple enough that you can figure it out, even without instructions, I'm sure. And just like the Iron Gym, there's a possibility of doing some minor damage to your door frame, with indentations and that kind of stuff, depending on how heavy you are, how often you use it, and what your door frame is made out of. You can easily minimize that by putting additional padding around here. It's just a thin rubber covering, so if you put some dense foam, you could probably really minimize the amount of damage you do to the door frame. But like I said, I'm not that concerned about it. So that's it. Overall, if this was a 5-star rating system, I would give the Triple Jim 4.5. It's pretty damn good. I paid about $79 to my door. Used a 10% discount. A 10% discount code that you get by liking Shamrock Gym on Facebook. I think currently the code is Fall Fun, so feel free to use that. And if you have any questions, or if you got a Triple Jim yourself, feel free to post your thoughts below. Thanks. Bye.